Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Anna Morfides with Many Hearts Counseling, and this is going to be part 2 of surviving a breakup, and it's going to be about how to do the work. So in the first video, we talked about what is going to lead us to the work that is not necessarily required of us to do, but would be for our highest good and to our benefit to embark on, that has come through this breakups. So this catalyst is now a breakup for a certain amount of self-work that would be worth our while to do in order for us to change our self-concept, who we are, our inner state of being, our vibration, and in order to have that change be reflected back in our outer world by our relationships. So in the first video, we talk about how that space that is created from a breakup is sort of an opportunity for us to reconnect to those parts of ourselves that are being highlighted from the thoughts that are leading to the challenging feelings while we're going through this breakup. So for example, some thoughts that come from feelings of sadness could be, why can't anyone love me? Or why couldn't they love me? And then we know that self-love there needs to be elevated, and the way to increase self-love is to do workshops such as the one that Louise Hay has available for us in her books, Heal Your Life. I actually do have a free 21-day workshop if you wanted to embark onto that incorporates all this healing of the inner child work that Louise Hay provides in her book, and I go it through step by step with you. And also I go through a gratitude book by Rhonda Byrne that increases your gratitude for not only for yourself, but for all the relationships that you have in your life, including this one that didn't work out. And even though you might feel like you're blindsided right now, you give so much gratitude for the things that did work out for in the relationship, and then so much gratitude for the space that has been created for you right now in order for you to grow. Because why did this happen for you? The biggest change that I created in my life through counseling school is the fact that I started to see the world not through the lenses of why is this happening to me, but more through the lenses of why is this happening for me. So when space is created, I really like to take advantage and opportunity of it. Even though I'm still a human being and I feel my emotions, I will feel my sadness and the grief of the loss of a connection. But I really pay attention, like we said, to the thoughts that precede those. So if my thoughts are, why did they do this to me? Or why did they treat me like this? Why did they abandon me? Why did they reject me? Then we know that the rejection feeling and the abandonment feeling, or why does everyone leave me, thoughts of that nature, that means you have an abandonment and or a rejection wound that is coming out for you to heal. So it's not so much that we are being abandoned, but it's more of the sense of, how did we acquire this abandonment wound? Where is this coming from? So for example, in my case, because my father had left us to go work overseas and I grew up without him, I didn't understand in the moment that he was doing that for the better of his family, but in my mind, he was not there. I was abandoned. And then because our mother was not raised in a loving environment either, she had no idea of how to do the same, and she didn't have my dad to be with her, and there was 3 of us, and she basically had gone mad trying to raise 3 kids all on her own. So she abandoned our emotional needs too. So that lived so strongly from within me. I felt rejected and abandoned. So I needed to heal my rejection and my abandonment wound. So my self-love, or the lack of self-love, wound I healed through Louise Hayes's affirmations to cultivate self-love. And my abandonment and my rejection wound, those I actually healed through energy healing. There was, and you can do that through breath work. There are many breathwork facilitators out there that can lead you to, Stefano Sifando is actually a very dominant one that I know of in my community. He does a lot of breath work for the feminine, but of course it's not just only for the feminine. And then there is another colleague of mine. I'm going to put her description in the box underneath as well. She goes by the name I Am Nev, and she actually did my breath work, and we released so much of that was stored inside of me, because the body does keep the score. The book by Bessel Vunder, why am I forgetting his name right now, but I'm going to put it in the description box as well. Bessel Vanderkolk, like the body keeps the score. All the unfelt emotions or emotions that we felt as children that we were not able to process and or needed and never got, everything is going to come through to the surface, especially in things such as breakups, because this is when our core wounds are usually triggered. And we do the work depending on what the wound that is triggered is actually present. And I guess when speaking of, I'm trying to make sure that I don't miss any details about the really important information that we acquire from our thoughts that precede our feelings when we're going through a breakup, because a lot of people might feel anger as well. And anger, I've never felt angry actually. Mine was predominant sadness because of my unworthiness. I kept feeling that I was unworthy to be loved. So that would make me sad, not really ever angry. So I'm not quite sure what would make someone angry, although I do know from people that I've worked with that they might feel anger in a breakup of the fact that they were blindsided. Oh, yes, blocked. So if you were, so we're going to go blindsided, and now you're angry, and because you were blindsided by your connection was not working for you in the first place, and you're going through the relationship, and then you're angry when the breakup happened because of why you stayed there for so long. Don't do that to yourself. You're not doing yourself any justice in that moment to put guilt and shame into yourself why you stayed there for that long. You stayed there for the right amount of time. You stayed there for the amount of time that you needed to in order to come to this point to free yourself from what is now being shown to you. So no angry or like, why did I let him treat me this way? Why did I let her treat me that way? A lot of people can get angry from that too, but also remember, these are always self-reflection. So instead of doing that, try to say, how is the way that they're treating me, how am I mirroring that within myself? So then you try to think of how you mistreated yourself within the connection that you have to you. Are you maybe perhaps using unhealthy coping mechanisms? Are you not getting enough sleep? Are you not eating well? Are you working a job that you don't love? Are you working too much? Are you not working enough? What is your self-talk like? What do you say when you catch a glimpse of yourself in the mirror? How do you deal every time you make a mistake or an error? Because those are part of our human experience. How are you treating yourself in a way that is not pleasant? How are you mistreating yourself? Are you hanging out with people that you don't really like? Or are you saying yes when you really want to say no? Are you choosing to disappoint yourself instead of disappointing others? How are you mistreating yourself? That is the juice of the matter where you want to get. And then I keep having all these thoughts and then they escape me. because they come and go. It's almost like divinely guided. So we're talking about thoughts mistreated. Yeah, if you have thoughts such as, what is wrong with me? Why does everyone leave me? Again, that's abandonment wound. What's wrong with me? You know you have to increase your self-concept, and you do that through affirmations. And this is how you do the work. And you give a gratitude for the experience all the time. The minute that you start to feel sad, no, you're going to go into the things that you're grateful for, and maybe you're even going to write them out. And then as you do that work, as you increase your self-love, as you change your self-concept, because now you're changing your core beliefs from ones that reflect abandonment and or rejection to more like, I am lovable, I am worthy of love, I am cherished, I am adored, I am chosen. You're changing, you're rewiring yourself based on the thoughts that you are now paying attention to that are eliciting your feelings. And yes, we're talking about the feelings of anger. There is no waste of time. That was just time that was gifted to the both of us, and now here we are. Now, if someone has blocked you, know again that this has nothing to do with you. And how do we deal with this? If someone is blocking you, that is a clear sign that they are blocking a certain part of themselves that they don't want to look at. Because in a relationship, both of the people involved are going to get triggered. We're both gonna have our wounds come up to the surface, and it only the strong enough ones, or the aware enough ones, know and want to do the work in order to make the relationship work. And this is what the book Attached or is all about, or the other one that I used to reference a lot in my workshop, and prior to that, is all about attachment style and how to keep the love that you find. And again, this is about the same thing too, how to keep love. Only I wish they taught this in school, but only the ones that are aware and know that 50%, or each one of us is 50% contributor of like the experience that we have in a relationship, and our triggers are going to be highlighted by each one of us. But the ones that choose to not look at it, because it's not easy to look at the triggers, it's not easy to face our fears, it's not easy to heal that inner child. It's a lot easier to block someone, so you have to deal with it. It's a lot easier to blame it on someone. Oh yeah, they're too much, they're too this or too that, as opposed to them understanding that they're not too much. They're feeling too much because much is coming up for them to heal. It's not the other person's fault. It's just that this is what is coming up for them too as an opportunity to heal. So it's always 50-50. So if someone has blocked you and that's angering you, no, it has nothing to do with you, and they are blocking a certain part of themselves and their life that they don't want to look at, and it's a lot easier to do that than to face it. So we allow them, right? There's nothing we can do about someone that is blocking us for them, but what we can do for us is not take it personally and not make it mean anything about yourself. Attaching to any of these two will drive you nuts and cause all suffering. So if someone has blocked, ghosted, left like this, we don't make it mean anything about ourselves. And if it's starting to make you think things about yourself like that you're not worthy or you're not good enough, then you know that's a sure sign that it's your time to do the work on that and change your self-concept, because you are worthy of love and you deserve it all. And the blocking part, yes, they have their own work to do, but then when it comes to us, okay, well, then we take a look at like, what are we not looking at in our own life? Like, what has been blocked in our own world? Like, what is it that would be ideal for us to open up the door to and explore and not be afraid to look at anymore, because we're not going to mirror that behavior. But if we're given an opportunity by somebody else's behavior to look at it, then that's what we're going to do. But we're not going to take it personally, because it never has to do anything with us. And we're not going to make it mean anything about ourselves, because that is also not true, because we give meaning to things based on the core beliefs that we acquired as a child. And most of the times those are of negative nature, so they're not correct. They're acquired, right? Because we're all worthy of the same loving experience. So this is how one does the work in order to change your self-concept, your inner state, learn from that experience, and then we don't discount anyone from being able to rise and meet us after we've done the work. Because no matter what, as humans, we are wired for connection, and we're gonna want it. We seek it, we want it, we all want it. And as much as we don't want it because it hurts, but really what really hurts is the triggers, the thorns. Just like the book by Michael Singer, The Untethered Soul, he talks about the thorns that get prickled by other people's actions. That's why love hurts, because it hurts when our inner child wounds are triggered, but that's just an opportunity for us to heal them. And if people are choosing to run and not face their fears, there is nothing that we can do about it than to take that opportunity to heal ourselves, and not to discount the fact that they might rise to meet us, not attached to the idea. We're not attaching to anything, because then we're going to cause suffering. And then we're also not going to allow the other thing to come in. When we're not allowed to attach to a person, we're allowed to attach to an idea of how we want to be treated, and then just sit back and watch the miracle happen of who comes in next, but being okay with yourself at the same time too. Yes, recognizing that we are wired for connection and we want it, we yearn it, but the connection to yourself will also be the biggest indicator to what connection you're gonna have with somebody else. And it might be that person or somebody else. I have seen it all. I have seen people come back in a 3.0 version. I have seen a greater, I shouldn't even say greater, just a different version of a man or a woman that you have been hoping for in your mind. And don't ever think, who else is gonna love me? There is always gonna be somebody else. I swear to you, I am a true testament of this. I've experienced it in my 45, almost 46 years of living. This is true for me and for other people that are like in their 40s, 50s, 60s. We have resilience, more resilience than someone in their 20s, because we know that this is to be true. And it's, the same for everyone. So the key is to do the work, right? And how do we do the work? Gratitude, self-love, affirmations, meditation. We can do breath work, energy healing, right? Watch our thoughts, reframe our thoughts constantly with cognitive behavioral therapy is the basis of that. Cognitively changing our behavior. Cognitively is with our thoughts. Our thoughts are the dictators of everything. Thoughts create emotions, emotions create behavior. So what are your thoughts behind your emotions that you're feeling in your breakup? How to do the work on those thoughts through affirmations, gratitude, self-love, meditation, energy healing, breath work. There's so many different methods. And like I said, I do have a completely free workshop online, and I'm actually thinking that I should do a workshop, as I was suggested to me today, on self-concept, like how to change your self-concept, which also ties into recognizing your patterns, healing from your past, and creating your new self. Yes, so remember that the space that is created for you in a breakup is a chance to reconnect with those parts of yourselves that we haven't had a chance to look at, or have been ignoring, or have abandoned ourselves this whole time. And whether that is a core belief or our attachment style, this is the chance to find out. I would love to hear from you, and I can specifically give you like a specific plan for you if you can tell me what your thoughts are. And you don't have to put it publicly. You can email me or private message me what your thoughts are and what your predominant emotions are, and then I can tell you how to work with that and create a different state of being for yourself, so you can start to attract a different in your life. If you liked anything about this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would love for you to do so. If you're first time here, welcome. I talk about mostly things about, all things love, but relationships to self, to friends, to our work. Like, it all ties in together. It all comes back to our attachment style and our core beliefs about ourselves, or our self-concept. It all comes back to that. And I'm a big advocate for inner child healing and shifting perspective, as I've been blessed for others to teach me. So I have witnessed my life do a complete 360, and I couldn't be happier. And not once have I said, I wish this was done sooner. I don't care that it happened in my 40s. I'm actually so grateful that I even have a chance to have a do-over. I feel like my life is just starting. So don't do that disservice to yourself and put yourself down or think that like it's not enough time. Like, I've had the best years of my life. Like, I swear to God, now, like in the last little bit, best time of my life. So thank you with my gratitude and all my love. And hit that button so you don't miss a video from me. And I always welcome any new topics, subjects, anything that you want me to talk about. I'd be happy to decipher and get into it. And I will see you next time.